Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Disco Elysium with me, Bring It On. I loaded into the game and we have a perception check.
Hey, her innocence Dolores Dei liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember?
Sorry, it's reaction speed, not perception. What?
You have the headless Fallen Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back.
What? Look around. Win who back? I can't win her back. She's a long-dead historical figure.
Don't be so pessimistic. Love doesn't die that easily. This isn't funny. You have a bad feeling about this one.
I should, yes. This is a task of mine now.
So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for.
Okay, let's do
The
this other
mother
check.
of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A crack runs across the length of her body, her face oval and sad.
Looks like I can't give this figurine to her,
Why?
because she's a stained glass window.
That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else?
Like what? Is the task still on?
I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. Only a strange little sadness remains. The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
Alright, reconstruct this. Well, actually, hold on. I probably have clothes that will help with this. So visual calculus, I don't see anything here. We definitely have clothes that'll help with that, or at least some glasses. And a jacket. So I definitely had glasses that... Oh, I went right past them. There they are.
The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A crack runs across the length of her body, her face oval and sad.
Reconstruct the cracked glass.
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif below them both.
What shattered this mosaic?
Unknown.
Who is this older woman?
The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, 30 years, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
The motto. What does it say?
Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau. And then, along the left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism, a summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the Insulindian, on human thinking, a tremendous sea change akin to finding life after death.
Lieutenant, this used to say, after life, death, after...
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again.
He nods.
This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however.
Why?
It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing.
What is the RCM motto now?
Justice, union, prudence, and force.
Cool.
Eyes cool.
Lieutenant nods. Step back.
The mother of humanism towers up.
I've already heard that. Well, let's go talk to the man in the rafters. If we meet her in person, well, she's dead, so I don't think that's going to happen. That does seem like we have an association with Dolores Dei and the woman from our past.
The shadow is a man made of the same stuff as the carpentry of the building. He is studying you intently. The crab man.
Or hey, who's there?
The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. You come to the right place.
Not the voice I was expecting.
That accent is Villalobos, a peninsula in Mesk and a district in general. There's a sizable contingent of Villalobos-speaking Mesks in Rivershow.
The right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Lieutenant whispers to you quietly.
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality. Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
I'm a policeman. I need to talk to you about police things. I don't know anything about alcohol use.
Oh yeah, sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over here.
His eyes remain fixed on yours. Yeah, I'm doing just fine, thank you.
I know it's hard to admit that you got a problem. I was like you once. Couldn't take an honest look into my own heart and see I was in pain.
I mean, I haven't had alcohol in days. So it's pretty impressive he can still smell it on me, which, I mean, considering the state of my character at the beginning of the game, isn't too hard to believe.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
Come on, Kim.
If the lieutenant agrees, then maybe, just maybe, you should pay attention.
For some reason, I feel like you have a point there.
Don't trust me. Trust the mother. I'm only the messenger, Holmes.
His voice echoes in the cold air of the church.
This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
He sways gently on the beams, waiting for you to take it all in.
This Mother of Silence sounds like a serious player. You might want to be careful until you find out what you're dealing with.
Well, let's see what this is about first. So, Wasteland of Reality. It's a pseudo-physical instrument, insomnia. It's been brought to your attention that you're an alcoholic, and that it's a sickness, and it's killing you. You're crawling on your knees through life, your booze-filled belly dragging on the ground, your brain now fuzzy, now in overdrive, your hair sticking together with today's cold sweat and yesterday's vomit. Perhaps they're right. Anything is better than this, even bone-dry reality itself. Maybe you can quit. So, I don't know how useful this is going to be. I don't want to not use it. But the rest of these are also really good. I mean, maybe I can... I like both of these. I'll decide this later. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. You must be the crab man.
Never known myself to be a crab. But if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it.
Well, to be fair, it's really more like a spider.
I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique.
He considers this for a moment, and then he pauses. What were you before you became a crabman?
I was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone.
I lost my memory too, but I like it. So I get to create a whole new me, start again from scratch.
That's not really the point, I say. You gotta give yourself over to service. Service of the mother, that is.
He frowns.
Do you remember your name, sir?
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore.
Well, my name's Harry. Extend your hand for a greeting.
That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters.
He ignores your hand, his limbs a mere shadow below the ceiling. What are you doing here?
This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there, a way out into nothingness. This church was built around it, for purposes of veneration.
He nods toward the ceiling.
I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly.
This mother of silence, you mean her, point to the window.
No. There's a new god in town, and she can be painted or sculpted because she has no limb or even a face. She is the end. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will.
What will happen once you drink from this perforation?
I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the state of the world before reality began.
You sure you didn't just switch one drug for another?
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
Faith is a kind of drug.
I heard that before, Way, and I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night?
He shakes his head.
There are drugs darker than alcohol circling your system.
Yeah, I think love might have been my drug of choice. I think I'm still hungover from it.
She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. That love is but a drop compared to the ocean of the mother's love.
He looks at you gravely.
The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out.
Yeah, I was being insensitive. Sorry. Let's move on.
No worries, man. I know this shit takes time.
I still don't understand what you're doing in the church.
I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory.
It doesn't really make sense for you to sing if she's the mother of silence.
I don't mean literal singing, Holmes. This is the mother of silence we're talking about. It's the singing of a burning heart.
He laughs.
You may be thinking, but fire crackles. No, Holmes. That's the material that's burning. The flames themselves are without sound.
How did you even find this place? This church?
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, Way. It didn't belong to me.
Are these yours? Show him the scarf and shoes you found lying around.
I think they were. A long time ago. I had to shed them like skins to get closer to the center of the silence. You could have them. I don't need them anymore.
He looks at the red clothing items in your hand.
They look pretty dapper, actually.
Right, I had other questions.
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
Do you know where the other spooker is? Point at the strange machines around you.
Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
He laughs. Wait, so there is another person living in the church, and it's Viejita.
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
He scratches his head.
Wait, what if it's Ruby?
Did it ever seem to you like she was hiding here from something?
The lieutenant seems to be thinking the same. He takes out his little notebook. Well, Angus did say something about her messing with the pail and radio equipment. So it could be Ruby stuff and not, Cindy the Skull. Cindy the Skull, again, was described as wearing old woman's clothes. This is twice I've suspected it was her. Sorry, I said my microphone. But I don't think that it is.
You mean like a fugitive?
He glances at the abandoned radio computer on the other side of the nave, pulsing with light. Then he shakes his head.
No, man. Quite the opposite. I don't think she cared much about authority or anything else for that matter. Maybe only about her machines.
I see. And where is she now?
Lieutenant seems contented with that answer.
I told you, Holmes. I don't know.
How can you not know that when you both live here?
Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests.
So you've got nothing to tell me? How she looks, what she does, who is she?
I'm afraid not, Essay. You just have to wait until she comes back, or...
He shrugs.
Or search through her radio computer.
Have you by any chance heard the Viejita say the password to her radio computer?
Too many times, Essay. You need it for something.
Yes. It's for a first-degree murder investigation in Martinez.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death.
That is true. But what comes after death?
The pail, according to the window.
What you think of that? Makes me almost pity la niñita pequeña when I hear it.
The little nihilist. You've been here for a long time. Did you see the police raid that took place here?
Something like that.
He responds, his voice suddenly flat.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub.
The ones in the tent outside? Right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me.
Wait, do they have a reason to be scared?
Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore. Anyway.
So what do you think? About the nightclub, that is.
Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
Okay then, thanks.
I think we're done here, Essay.
The figure crawls off into the darkness above.
That was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I like the voice actor for that guy.
However, I'm still not sure whether we'll find our suspect here.
No, but we have a password.
The machine's keyboard is the speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good evening. Votre accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Rapid Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Let's try this again. I think I may have the right password for the personal log.
Good. Please repeat the password.
After life, death.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
No thank you.
Sleep well, votre accident.
She says as her voice disappears in a whirl into a whirl of static.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Press print.
The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
Read the printout.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Do you think this log might be connected to the case?
Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local eccentric.
His eyes wander to the various machines around him. Read the second entry.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity. See? Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving.
Alright, read the third entry.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Esca series, something advanced.
Why would she need an antenna?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
He steps on a wire running on the ground, inspecting it with his boot. Read the fourth entry.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
A data loss.
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
He adjusts his glasses. Artists, programmers, Lexi. Who are all these people?
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business, the one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be our former co-workers.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring as well. Because again, it's the same login on the radio computer to talk to that old woman as it was in the DCA. Read the fifth entry.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder.
He strokes his chin.
Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
Read the sixth entry.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
Lieutenant looks to his right, toward the silence. Read the seventh entry.
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The Pillar of Silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
But what could it be? Look at the water basins behind you.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples.
Read the 8th entry.
March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work.
Yeah, she must be describing a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
Read the 9th entry.
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her.
That's me. I was the one who broke into that radio computer. And the storekeeper must be Placence.
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with the machine.
No. It was a great idea. You're learning things. This is how you learn things about machines.
Alright, read the 10th entry.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping pong energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening.
Oh, it must be her.
A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds down the off button for several seconds. The machine reboots.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
Looking for a suspect in a murder investigation. We thought they might be hiding here.
No one's hiding here.
She barely looks up from the keyboard. Here, the machine wore back to life.
It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
The lieutenant whispers. So I'm curious, can we interact with this Pillar of Silence again? Doesn't look like we can.
What is it?
The woman is still hunched over the keyboard, gently illuminated by the purring machine. I didn't break anything, did I?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
It does not look like a big loss to her. Hey, are you the programmer of We're All Untethered, by any chance?
Yes. Or, no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She thinks to herself.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
She turns back to the terminal. Have you seen the Crabman?
Nope.
But you know he's around.
Yes.
He's seen you.
And?
And? The Crabman has seen you.
I don't care. I don't care about crabmen.
She barely looks up, now tinkering with the machine's printer.
Wow, she really doesn't. Not afraid, this one.
Have you seen anyone suspicious? Say, a woman named Ruby.
What? No. No one's suspicious around here.
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
Why are there so many machines in this place?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Why do you need an antenna? Point to it.
I use the AR-1 as my RAIN prefix processing unit.
RAM Prefect. That's your radio computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
That antenna is its processing unit.
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
She sighs, and she has stopped working now. Yeah, not really.
Alright. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Wait, what's on air?
On the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the east in Celindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
She waves her hand.
Like love.
And the AR-1, is it a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage and the operation has been surprisingly stable.
She stops to think.
But it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
She turns back to her terminal.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
And what are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
She closes her eyes.
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do. And you're not helping.
Isn't your REM Prefect a radio computer made exclusively for the government use?
So you do know something about computers. You're right. Prefect is used mostly by the government peeps.
She looks up, almost proud of you. And you work for the government.
No, I don't.
So why do you have it?
Because I needed something good for my investigation and Reims Civic is widely agreed to be below all standards. So I had to upgrade.
She inhales sharply before answering in a single breath.
Besides, owning a Reims Prefect isn't such a big deal anymore.
No, actually, it is kind of a big deal. You don't see Ream prefects in every police department, for example.
How did you get your hands on it?
I know a friend of a friend who used to freelance for the Coalition. I was actually aiming for the military-grade Reim Rational series, but couldn't find one.
She says nonchalantly, scratching her ear.
Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as Reims Civic, so it's kind of a rip-off. But it does have better compatibility with newer antenna models, so I won't complain.
She pats her glowing machine. What about those bowls of water over there?
They are connected to my Reim Prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
She looks up. Right. I'll try not to touch anything. Next question.
Great.
She dwells back into the glowing terminal. What are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
There's a hint of amusement in her tired eyes. And make sure you're not hiding anyone here.
No, I'm not. It's just me and the crap man. I'm just doing some research. That's all.
She looks up at the ceiling before murmuring. What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Is the hole connected to the data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
She stares at the burnished antenna on a nearby table. A hole in the world. What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing.
There's something frantic about her as she locks her gaze with you, eyes shining like pearls.
What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer.
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
Hold on a moment. Does it mean we're now living in a world that has holes in it?
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. But how do I figure it out?
I can't even understand how we're talking about something that doesn't exist, let alone measure it.
You measure it by its surroundings, by that which does exist. Which is what I've been trying to do. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins.
She replies.
Ha! Hydro transducers. So that's what those water basins are. Devices for recording sound through water.
But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
She grows silent, staring at her circle of basins. Looks like some ancient ritual.
But does it have anything to do with necroplasmic life forms? Ghosts, in everyday parlance.
Does it have anything to do with ghosts?
Ghosts? No, I don't think so. I don't believe in ghosts.
She repeats. What about other supernatural entities?
I don't believe in them either.
What not many know is necroplasma exists.
Great. What are we talking about? And why?
She gets back to work, a clear signal that this branch of the conversation is over. Do you have any idea where this hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch black heights above, but without much success.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow, and the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
Yeah, this is where the Crabman lives.
I know.
You don't think Crabman might be somehow responsible here?
No, I don't.
She sounds mildly annoyed by this line of questioning, her hands typing hundreds of commands into the machine.
You said that the research isn't going well. Why not?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
She stops mid-sentence. Well, that's all I wanted to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world, for now.
Great. Thanks.
Her hands are whirling the keyboard.
The Swallow, you mean? Great. Thanks.
How do you feel about anodic dance music?
What? I hate it.
She squints her eyes.
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Have you even listened to it? Like, actually listened?
Yeah. Like, all the time. My tent neighbors don't really ease up with their partying, do they?
She pulls a face that looks absolutely scathing.
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right. How do you feel about a club for anodic dance music?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
She looks up, shaking her head. What do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
Yeah, I heard they're also planning on building a drug lab.
Bingo! That's exactly what they're up to.
She snaps her fingers.
Wonderful.
The tenant whispers, admiring the embellished pillars and the spectacular architecture in the church.
Now this house of worship is also going to be a drug lab. Always something fascinating happening in tents.
Say nothing.
So that's settled. Great. No nightclubs in the church then.
She supports her chin on her hand, visibly pleased. It's not a paying job, but could you help me contact Coalition Warship Archer?
Do I look like someone who has time for side projects at this moment?
She doesn't even look up from her computer.
If you want her help, maybe you should help her first.
How do I help
The
her?
Swallow, you mean? Great. Thanks.
Right, I'll let you work in peace now. How do I help her?
Yes, what is it? The Swallow, you mean? What about it? Because it's... And I don't have a... You know what? Great. Thanks.
How do I help her? I didn't get any tasks from that. So I'd have to choose. Maybe I have to choose between the Ravers and her. So either I go let the Ravers make a nightclub, and then she disappears, or I go tell them not to make a nightclub, and return to her. And then she'll have me help her with her task. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
The mother of human.
But I think regardless, next time we'll go talk to the Ravers. think of an exit the church, because I don't have any more conversation options with her right now. And I guess I have to make a choice. I don't know, do I want to have them set up a nightclub in a place that... I mean, that anomaly has to be researched. I mean, that's super fascinating. And I am a man of the sciences, so... I might side with her in this, I don't know. But I also have all these tasks for them where I have to, what, sync my sign with Noid? Yeah, sync the signs with the Noid. Yeah, I know, I have a lot of stuff to do. We can also talk to Estelle about the Crabman. But either way, for now, I'm going to call it. I will take care of this in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next episode.